He is the real deal, the right choice, and the great choice for Texas. Would you please join me in welcoming Coach Tom Herman.
The University of Texas is a place, a special place, and deservedly holds a seat among college football elite. We will win championships. We will build men of character. We will graduate our players, and we will do it all with integrity and with class.
Start 9 sophomores on defense, had a freshman quarterback, 3 young offensive linemen start. They're set up to be a top 10 team next year.
This Longhorns team has a boatload of talent. If you talk to Big 12 coaches across the conference and they hear somebody say, oh, well, Texas is really down, they'll tell you Texas has players.
We've got the resources, the fan base, the city of Austin. We've fallen on a bit of hard times, but most programs do, and we will get it back to where it belongs in short order.
You ain't never seen a soldier like me. 1, 2, 3, I'm a vigilante. 4, 5, 6, kiss that ass goodbye. When I pull the gun, then somebody gotta die.
Know what time it is? Longhorns, Oklahoma Sooners, the Red River Rivalry Shootout for the 111th meeting this Saturday at 2:30. And I am so excited. I've had this game penciled in every single season that I wake up to Longhorns football. And I got the flu right now, and I'm still excited about this game. I'm so pumped up. Do you guys realize the history behind OU and Texas? Well, if not, let the sexiest man alive in the universe educate you. The first game took place October 12th in 1900. The final score was Texas won 28-2, and that sparked off the Red River Rivalry Shootout for years to come. This is a 117-year-old rivalry. Texas owns the all-time record 61-45-5. Now, a lot of people have been asking me in previous videos, well, how is there ties in college football? They actually didn't install a college football system until 1996. So there were even good UT Oklahoma games that ended in ties. In 1976, which was called the Spy Game, which basically Daryl K. Royal accused Barry Switzer of spying on him and stealing their practices, like when they were going through practice, sort of like what New England was accused of doing to the Rams back in 2001. That same thing occurred with the OU Texas game. So they actually delayed the game for a day to investigate it. They found no evidence that Barry Switzer cheated, even though a lot of people said that they caught him using his Polaroid camera taking pictures in black and white. So anyways, that game ended in a 6-6 tie. We were up 6-0. Oklahoma ended up tying the game. They ended up botching an extra point, and it ended in a tie. You got the Like a Rock 1994, where James Allen, running back for the Oklahoma Sooners, was stopped at the 1-yard line. And Texas ended up winning that game. I think it was 17-10. And Oklahoma had to watch as the time expired. That ended up coming down as one of the top 10 games in UT Oklahoma history. You got the game in 2000 where I think they blew us out, and Oklahoma ended up winning that year. Their last actually national championship, which they won, was in 2000. They blew us out. I think it was like 65-14. But there was a lot of records set in that game. I think if I'm correct, Griffin, one of the running backs named Griffin, scored like 3 touchdowns, had like over 300 yards. But he had a short career in the NFL anyway. He only had like 3 years with Denver, a year with Kansas City. After 2006, he went to the CFL, and now he's retired at the age of 36. But that's besides the point. There's a lot of history behind this game. Many games that went down. 2005, 2007, 2009, 2015. I mean, we can go way, way back into the years. 1965 was a good game. 1984 was a good game. And I'll break that down probably in another video. But anyways, a lot of people don't know something. Daryl K. Royal unless you studied your history, he actually was an Oklahoma Sooner. What do you mean? He went to Oklahoma. He played as a quarterback. He played as a linebacker after he got out of the military in 1946 to 1949. That guy is a war hero. He graduated in 1942, top 10% in his class. He went and coached after he got out of the Air Force. I think he was in the U.S. Army. It was one of the two. Correct me if I'm wrong. And then he ended up coaching at Mississippi State, and I think at Washington State or something. And he ended up playing for the Sooners from 46 to 49. He was actually played as a part-timer. He played a linebacker and he played as a quarterback. And in the 1949 Sugar Bowl game, he threw a 43-yard touchdown pass against Oklahoma A&M, which is now known as Oklahoma State, and ended up winning the game that against Oklahoma and A&M. So Darrell K. Royal was inducted into the Hall of Fame in 1992, I believe, into the Oklahoma Sooners Hall of Fame. Granted, they had to get permission from UT, but UT went ahead and granted it because he was an Oklahoma Sooner. And the funny thing is if you look at Mack Brown was a defensive coordinator, I believe, in 1984 for the Oklahoma Sooners. And many people accuse the Longhorns of cheating in that game, which I will get to that in another video, because I actually want to cover, a part of the history, because it's important to know the history of Oklahoma and Texas. This isn't just one game. This is the game. This is the championship. This is the Big 12 championship game. Or it feels like that is. I don't care if you go to Baylor. I don't care if you go to A&M. I don't care if you go to USC. Everybody knows this game has so much meaning because of its history, the players that's walked through that stadium, all the storylines, the controversy, head coaches, Hall of Famers, you name it. This game has a lot of meaning to it. And if I got the flu and you hear me so excited in this camera, what should that tell you about the true meaning of this game for this Saturday? There's a lot of meaning to it. And I can't wait. So anyways, let's go over some key points of this game. Some of my favorite players on Oklahoma, even though cornerback Jordan Thomas had a bad game last week against Iowa State, he's probably been covering Collins Johnson. I mean, it's no secret on that. Reggie Hemphill Maps is also our next go-to wide receiver. He's probably going to be covered by, I think his name's Parnell Motley, if I'm correct. Correct me if I'm wrong, Oklahoma Sooners fans. If I'm wrong, let me know I'm wrong. DJ Ward, your defensive end's a fucking beast. Stephen Parker at strong safety. Better enjoy his time while he's here because this is his last year. Yes, he's a senior this year, and he's going pro leagues. And then you got that African guy, Ogabanya Okinura, whatever. Every time there's an African dude on your team and he's on defense, you know he's beast mode. So anyways, you got Baker Mayfield, who was argumentatively at the beginning of the season the top runner candidate to the Heisman Trophy winner. After they lost to Iowa State, now the tables are going to be turned a little bit and the argument's going to be spread a little thin on here. And Baker Mayfield's a beast. I always call him Gayfield. I don't know why. I just can't stand him. It's just something about the way he carries himself. He looks like a little arrogant prick. Allegedly, Jacksonville is eyeing him right now. They want to draft him because I think he's going to be the replacement for Blake Bortles, which, I mean, if Jacksonville drafts him, that might actually be a good thing. That could be a very, very, very good thing. And so anyways, Baker Mayfield's a beast. There's no problem. I call him Gayfield all the time because, and he's a senior this year, so he's going to be going to the NFL this year. We're blessed that Shane Bichelle is a sophomore and Sam Ehlinger is a freshman. We're blessed that we get these guys for another 2 or 3 years. So we're blessed on that. And Oklahoma's going to, unless y'all recruit some top freshman All-American, you guys are going to be rebuilding at the quarterback position again. So anyways, Reggie Hemphill Maps and Collins Johnson is probably like our go-to receivers right now. John Bird has not really been involved in this offense. I know Dorian Leonard kind of comes here and there. Gerard Hurd kind of, has his moments here or there, at the beginning of the season. But lately it's been all Reggie Hemphill Maps and it's been Collins Johnson. And Collins Johnson's a freshman. So we got him for another 3 years after this. So Texas we're going to have a lot of starting returners coming back next year. We're going to lose like 3 receivers this year. I think Dorian Leonard's going to go. I think Gerard Hurd's going to he's got 1 more year here. We got about 2 other receivers that are going to be leaving. I think John Burt's a junior, so he'll be here next year. Chris Warren III is a junior, so he's going to be here 1 more year. So we're still packed on the running back. Then we got Kyle Porter, and we got how do you say his name? O'Neal or something like that. Toneel. I can't really think of his name, but we got a stack of running backs on the team that can carry the load after Chris Warren leaves. But we're just enjoying it when the time is here. Right now, in this game, Oklahoma Sooners under, I can't think of the damn fucking coach's name. Who's the head coach over there? Lindell or something. I can't think of the head coach. His name comes to my head right now, and I don't really know. I know they run a no-huddle formation, and they play a very fast, up-tempo game. Texas plays a much slow-down, spread formation offense. I know Oklahoma plays some kind of weird 4-2-1 defense or 4-2-3 defense, some crap like that. But I'm expecting them to run a lot of no-huddle on us, and it's up to our defense to have to try to get some early stops. And how do we get the early stops? Coverage in the secondary is going to be big in this game. We have to have great secondary coverage. Also, if we can blitz, if there's some way we can blitz a safety, or we can off the weak side or whatever, do a linebacker blitz, you know, do small package blitzes to where they don't catch and dish, we might be able to get to the quarterback a couple times and put Mayfield on his ass. Any other things that I wanted to cover? Some of your wide receivers that I like is like Mark Andrews. He's a beast. He's built like a fucking tight end. I don't know why Mark Andrews is not a tight end. I think if I'm correct, it's his senior year, so you got 1 year left with him. You got Jeff Badgett, which is also another good, legit receiver. You got Jordan Smallwood, Markel Jones, Cephon Morris or Larry, something like that. And then, you know, so you guys do got a legit squad. There's no doubt about it. And of course, before I go, there's also 3 video makers I want to give a shout out to, and some trolls in the typer section I want to give a shout out to. OU sucks. He said he's been going there for 33 years. Dude, I could just imagine the types of stories you could probably share to me on the phone about some classic OU Texas showdowns. 1994, 1990, 1996, 2000, 2001, 2005, 2007, 2009. 2000, we can go on and on and on. I bet there's some memories probably jolting in your mind right now. You're just salivating, waiting to call me on the phone and tell me, hey, man, look, I can tell you all about this game from up and down, side to side. This game right here has so much meaning to it, man, and it rips my heart out just thinking that we only play once a year. I would give my left arm right now. I would give my left arm if I could watch that, if I could watch the 1900 game. If I could actually have tickets to go and take a time machine, I would fly back to the year October 12th, 1900. And I would watch the entire game and I would enjoy every piece of it. And every game that Texas has lost to OU, I would take a time machine back to those games and watch it because I appreciate the love of college football and I appreciate this rivalry. You have to excuse me for my outburst. I'm just so pumped up. I'm so excited for this game. And I don't give a shit if this video goes over 15 minutes either. We also got a shout out to Triplets Cowboys. He was the one that told me I need to make a hate week, and I was already going to make a hate week anyway. You got 3 video makers, and I'm going to have one of them at the bottom of the description because he's a very good OU video maker. He gets thousands of views on every video, way more than I could ever dream of. His name is Uni Kuno, and he's been an OU fan for as long as I can remember. He's older than me. Probably somewhere in his mid-30s. I don't know, somewhere around there. Maybe his early 30s or late 20s. I don't know. But anyways, he's a very good video maker. And just his passion, the way you hear this guy speaking to the camera is just phenomenal, man. And I'm a Texas fan, and I watch every single one of his OU reviews. Every time OU wins, I don't care if it's a blowout to Baylor. I don't care if it's a blowout to a small school or whatever, like, you know, I don't know, like Florida AT&T or some bullshit like that. Like, I watch every one of his videos. The guy's very passionate, and I'll have his video at the bottom of the description so you guys click on it. You can watch his videos. He's mentioned me a couple times, gave me a couple shout outs, so I have nothing but love. You got Savant TV, Preacher Son 86. I watch their videos. They're very good video makers as well. They got some things about them that they probably could work on, but, you know, they're excellent video makers, and they're more popular than I am, so who am I to judge, you know? But Uni Kuno is one of my favorite OU video makers, and you're looking at a Texas Longhorns fan that despises OU. Now, OU, you know, one thing y'all can have over us is you got more national championships. Now, they say, oh, we got 7 national titles, but the NCAA recognized about 9 more of them. Okay, but that still doesn't mean any. We still got 4. I mean, yeah, you got more national championships than we do, but we got more Red River Rivalry beats. We beaten y'all more times than you beaten us head to head. So, you know, we can go back and forth on that, championships versus head to head. But altogether, we love this rivalry. Whether you're an OU fan or whether you're a Texas fan, you love this fucking rivalry. You love it. It doesn't matter what the score is. You appreciate the outcome of every game. Now, will this game go down as the greatest of all time? Fuck no. Fuck no. I think if anything, man, see, I can't get footage back in the 30s, 20s, the 10s, the 100s, the 40s, the 50s. If I could, I would watch it and I would tell you. But right now, I'd have to say probably one of the best games that I think is probably 1994 like a rock. I think that had to be where James Allen was stopped on the 1-yard line. OU was running a no huddle at the time, and for us to stop them on the 1-yard line like that, I mean, it goes down in history. You know, you can argue other games as well that had some memorable moments to it. In other words, I think the 2001 game, if I'm correct, or was it 2001 or 2003? It's one of those two. Chris Sims threw a fucked up pass to fucking Roy Williams. He ended up deflected it, and Oklahoma ended up intercepting it. And that was known as the defensive shutout. I think Oklahoma beat us 14-3 in that game. And there was no fucking way that they should have won that game if it wasn't for Chris Sims fucking it up and throwing that interception. You know, he threw a horrible pass to Roy Williams when he was supposed to cut under. He was supposed to throw it right. He was supposed to throw over the shoulder and ended up throwing above him. And it got deflected. It got tipped off, and it got picked off by Oklahoma. And they ended up winning that game. So there's a lot of games right now that we can go over, and I'm going to do that in my next video. But anyways, you got to love, you got to appreciate, you got to respect the history. We've gone through 30 head coaches since 1900. Oklahoma actually has only, I think, had 17 or some shit like that. They had like 17, 18 head coaches. I think Mike Stoops right now is the brother of Bob Stoops, if I'm correct. And I think Mike Stoops is the one that's coaching the team right now. Or not coaching the team. I think he's like upstairs in the box office doing something. I don't know, the general manager or some shit like that. But anyways, man, I'm so excited for this game on Saturday. Comment on the bottom. Let me know what y'all feel. What are some of the best games that y'all enjoyed? And I'll cover it in my next video. But I'm going to cover some memorable games in tomorrow's video of OU Texas classic history matchups. And I'll go over players, where they were drafted to, what ended up happening in their careers. Some had short-term careers. Some had big careers. Some still playing in the league. Others have not. Blah, 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 blah. And we'll go over all that. And so anyways, what do I predict in this game? Keys to winning. If you're OU, you got to run the no-huddle offense. You got to continue to run the no-huddle offense on this defense, especially because our defense is kind of weaker right now than theirs. But, you know, don't get it twisted. You still got Anthony Wheeler. You still got Malik Jefferson. You still got Malcolm Roach. I mean, you got a lot of guys on that defense, you know, that can still light up some guys. And, you know, Devontae Davis, Chris Boyd, Josh Thompson, that are going to lock up and shut down wide receivers. I'm just hoping to play and we can slow down Mark Andrews and Badgett. If we can shut those guys down, we might have a chance to walk out of this with a dub, at least from the from a defensive stance. And on the offense, you know, I don't know if they're going to start Shane Bichelle or Sam Ehlinger. I probably would start Shane Bichelle, go with experience on this. He's got one more year of experience than Ehlinger, and I would go with him definitely. I would start slinging it. If they're going to run no huddle, we got to match it, dude. We got to play a fast-paced, up-tempo game to beat these guys. I think this score has the potential to go back and forth. Touchdown, 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 touchdown. It's going to come down to whose defense gives out first. And from what I see, I mean, I think OU possibly is going to win this game. I want Texas to win. But just to be like a realist, if I had to bet on it, OU will probably win, you know, 28-24, some shit like that. 28-27. It's going to be a close game. I'm looking very forward to this matchup, and I will be making a video tomorrow covering some classic showdowns at the bottom of the description. And OU sucks. Yeah, you are very blessed that you got to go to 33 straight years of Texas-Oklahoma rivalry. I would give up my left arm to go to one game. I haven't even been to one of those games, let alone the amount that you went to. And I got nothing but respect for you on that, man. That's a real dedicated fan. I think he said he was flying in to go see that game, so yeah. But anyways, I'm going to go ahead and sign up out of here. I'm going too long in this video. Sexiest man alive in the universe, where my opinion matters more than yours. And I hope Texas wins this game, man. I'm going to be watching. I'm going to do a viewing party, record it, do commentary, blah, 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 live reactions. You know the works. And I'm signing out. Before I sign out, I realized that I messed up on two things. Number one, it was not Oklahoma A&M that Darrell K. Royal threw the game-winning touchdown pass in the Sugar Bowl in 1949. It was the UNC Tar Heels. What I meant to say was Darrell K. Royal holds the Sooners record. Yes, he does. He holds the Sooners record for being the only defensive back to have 3 touchdowns in a single game. Not touchdowns. To have 3 interceptions in a single game. And I also wanted to cover, one of my subscribers asked me about that golden trophy or the golden hat. It's some dumbass thing that the governors from Oklahoma and Texas came up with. I think that was in the 90s. I want to say the 95, 96 season. We got what's called the golden hat, and they kind of traded off like it's a title, like a heavyweight championship, sort of like wrestling. And whoever wins gets the golden hat, and then whoever wins the next, if like, for example, if Texas won in 2015, we got the golden hat. And I think, if I'm correct, Charlie Strong was wearing it after the game. And then the following year, last year, Oklahoma beat us, so they got the golden hat back, blah, 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 blah. It's anyways, they got the golden hat right now, so, I'm not really all just hyped up about that. I could really give a shit less about that dumbass golden hat. I care more about the game. I'm more excited about the, where's this going to put us, If we go 4-2 and we beat Oklahoma, if we're not ranked in the top 25, something's wrong. Something is wrong if we're not ranked in the top 25. But this game right here, I wish it had it to where both of us could meet in the playoffs. That's why I strive so hard for a college football playoff, because I want to see my teams in the playoffs compete and have these regular season rivalry games extended to the playoffs. And if you had a top 16 at least, maybe a top 32, there's a possibility you could see more rivalries between the Alabamas and the FSUs, the Florida State and the Floridas, maybe Miami's and USC's, stuff like that. We could possibly see those in a playoff game. Who would not be excited for that? So anyways, that's all I pretty much want to cover. I'm going to cover some more in my video tomorrow. I'm going to talk about classic games and go over that, my top favorite classic games that I could remember watching and stuff like that, and we'll go from there. Until anyways, sexiest man alive in the universe. My opinion matters more than yours. Stay tuned for more videos, and I'm signing out.